Welcome everyone, aka Eileen Little Crafter. Additional information about this show, arts, crafts, and everything in between can be found on my website, eileenlittlecrafter.com. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. So I am still working on videos. I have a weekly spread video for this week, which I will do. I filmed it and forgot about it, and I thought I edited it and put it up. So that video will be late, whether it's on the weekend or even today. I will have that video up. I'm gonna get my button gear. All right, I have committed to at least 1 or 2 videos per week. For now, we shall see. Yeah, and gotta get my button gear. I'm working the blog, so we shall see. Yesterday was just one of those days where nothing wanted to work, and so I went to go in and started editing, and actually I was almost finished with the editing, and then the next thing I know, music started playing. I was like, okay, I'm done. The universe is just like kicking my butt. Too much. All right, let's get into today's podcast. So today's podcast is summer TV viewing and more anime. Yes, so thank you so very much for everyone who has been listening here and abroad. Thank you so very much, guys. I really 100% appreciate it. So let's get into what I've been watching. All right, so and what I'm recommending, if you guys haven't caught these shows, definitely 100% I highly recommend these shows. First off, without a doubt, let's start off with the TV stuff. And I told you that there would possibly be more anime. That's the reason why I am including these two in the show. All right, so first off, we have Dead Files. You guys know I love my Dead Files. I am a huge Dead File fan. This is season 11, so stinking amazing. That airs on Thursdays at 10 o'clock. They do kind of like a marathon of older cases throughout the day of sorts. So if you want to set your DVR, if you haven't seen that, trust me, it's really good. The only thing that I don't like about, and I think that it's only on their website and on the app for the travel channel. Let me make sure I'm pronouncing that correctly. Is that they don't put it on demand. Sometimes I forget to record it, and I'm like, oh, let me see if it's on demand. Never on demand, unfortunately. I think that it should be on demand because I love the show to death. But yeah, so if you missed it, hopefully maybe you can catch it on their website. But set your DVRs, trust me, or maybe later on, throughout the year, they may give it that particular episode again, which they have. So I've seen cases that are like, I forgot what season, and I'm like, oh, I didn't catch this one. Well, wait, hold up. Or if I catch it, I'm like, okay, I'll wait for the next one to air. If it's a Thursday marathon, which I completely love. They did switch it over to Fridays. Actually, I kind of like the Fridays, but then the Thursdays are like, it's not horrible. But anyways, so definitely catch Dead Files. If you guys don't know what Dead Files is, basically it is about Steve and Amy. Steve is a former NYC, New York City detective. I was going to say police officer. He was a detective who looks into the history of the house, talks to witnesses, digs really deep into what is going on. If he suspects that possibly it could be something caused by, just something in the house or anything that could be explained, he'll have, experts come in and check out the house. So that's really good. And then you have Amy, who is, I don't know if she's considered sensitive, physical, medium, empath, or all of the above. So I always forget, like, what is her specialty, but she communicates and sees the dead. And sometimes they, or whatever else is in the house, And sometimes they tell her the truth, and sometimes they, give her a hard time. So she goes searching around the house. She's not given any type of information. If you follow her on Twitter and Instagram, you get a little bit more deep into the story. Even before she leaves the house, they don't tell her where she's going. I guess she doesn't know until she gets her ticket, which is, I guess, I don't know, like, cool, but at the same time kind of weird. But I guess it also helps with, her, what is that, legitimacy of not knowing anything about, really nothing of the location. And then she goes and she, does her walkthrough. And Steve and Amy, they don't talk throughout the investigation. So there was one, and it was really serious. I did see that episode, and I remember that. And after that, I've never seen them communicate throughout an investigation. But there was one where it was really serious, and because it turns out that there was something going on in the lady's house because she brought something over from the location. So that was the only time. But other than that, they have never communicated. They've never speak until, after everything is done, and then they, sit down with the clients, and then they tell them what to do. I guess they give them a list. And, if they need any additional help, I think Amy and Steve are there, hopefully. But they really do some good work, and they help a lot of people, and, so, and, it really is really good show if you believe in the afterlife and ghosts or whatever the case may be. So some people, don't. Some people, it is what it is. But it's my cup of tea, and I really enjoy it. And so this is season 11. All right, so moving on. This is a newer show, which is on NBC. I'm hoping and praying that this one gets picked up throughout the fall, or maybe even a summer show, unlike Midnight in Texas, which I can't believe that it got canceled. I'm like, what in the bejesus? Like, why? It was so good. I know last season was just a real bummer. I don't know, like, what were they thinking? But, it is what it is. So this show is called The In-Between. When I saw the previews, I watched it, and I was so like, yes, finally, something, Okay, so it kind of has that, I want to say medium type vibe / detective drama. I don't know, like, it has a bunch of different shows put together, but it just is so cool and trendy and so up my alley. Okay, so basically you're dealing with a person that can speak to spirits, and she's had a really rough time. Apparently her mother killed herself because of it. She was seeing the therapist for it, and he didn't know how to help her. He tried everything he possibly could, and then it turns out that the mother killed herself. So she goes and lives with the two men. The detective is the same detective from Arrow, but this time around he is not using his American accent. He's actually using his foreign accent. And it is so weird because he played a detective in Arrow, and then he is now using his real accent as, here in the show as Cassie's father. And I'm like, I love it. I love it. I love it. The actor's name is Paul Blackthorne. I thought I wrote it down, but so I had to do a quick peek. So I remember him in a role, which you guys are probably going to be like, oh my god, you're dating yourself. But you know what? It is what it is. I'm 45. What do you expect? Alright, so here we go. I remember him. I honestly, he's an English-born actor. I first saw him in actually One Life to Live. He played one of my favorite characters, Vicky. Oh, I forget the name. I think it was Victoria Lord. He played her love interest in that particular episode. And not episode, he was a recurring character. I thought he was going to be staying there for a while. And then soon after, he was on Sci-Fi's Dreskin Files. And I loved the heck out of that show. I really just loved it. And I was watching it. Then all of a sudden, it just went poof, gone. I was really, 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 really upset. This is when, like, I guess, I don't know, I'm wondering, where did that come from? Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. So as I was saying, this is kind of when Sci-Fi was new. It was just starting up. And the Dresden Files was announced along with a lot of different shows. And like I said, Dresden Files just went poof. I didn't see anything from him before, but I'm sure he's done plenty of different works. And then all of a sudden I see him on Arrow and I was like, wow, he's really good. Never really knowing that he had an accent. I never really looked into his bio of those things. And then when I saw him in between, I'm like, is that an English accent? Whoa, wait a minute. So I was like, is he English or American? So, which didn't matter, but I was really curious, you know what I mean? So if you don't know me, I'm curious. I like to look up people's bios every now and again and just figure out whether or not if that is a real accent or what. So apparently it is. He's English born, and I love his character in this one just as much as I love his character in Arrow. So yeah, so he is just a cool guy in this one. He's just as much as he was in all of the other ones. He wears this amazing hat that I just love to death. So he plays a gay detective, which is awesome. And he helped raise Cassie as his daughter, and they just love her to pieces, and the way they communicate with one another, and they know about her gift, and Cassie basically was hiding from it in the beginning. One father, who was the actual therapist, wants to, kind of keep her from harm. And then the other one's like, well, if she wants to give information, I can't say no, because obviously they're trying to, the spirits are trying to get help or justice for themselves. So Cassie starts trying to embrace it, and they're like, okay, well, if it gets too dangerous, then we'll figure out a way how to, help you. So, yeah. So that's kind of where we're at. There's a lot going on. There's also a new detective that comes in. He has his own backstory. The therapist that has his backstory. We don't really know anything about the backstory of, I guess his name is Joe. I forget the character's name. I'm terribly sorry. Okay, so I think, so anyways, the Blackthorn's character, Blackthorn's character, I guess he and his husband basically, I guess, wanted to help the young girl, because they, know about her situation. So they took her in as their foster child, but they love her like a daughter. So therefore, I guess that's kind of like the backstory or whatever the case may be. So anyways, so that is a really interesting show. I really enjoy it a lot. That one is on Wednesdays on NBC. Here in New York, it's Channel 4. What time? I believe check 9, 10 o'clock. So around that time, more or less. Alright, so you guys are going to be laughing at this one. This is a Hulu one. I have not started the new season. Can't believe it's already on season 5. and new episodes adding. So I was a big fan. I was interested in this because I thought it was pretty cool that a young lady in her high school years is kind of a detective. And the show that I'm talking about is Veronica Mars. So I kind of So I thought that it was pretty cool. I believe the show is taped in LA, or in Cali, because one of them mentioned SoCal, but I'm not 100% sure. I kind of grew up like not in a town like that, but yeah, no, I the California vibes, the Florida vibes, yeah. I didn't grow up in Florida, but I kind of, like I said, I grew up in Cali, for a little bit. So, it was pretty cool, to see stuff like that. Like the way the college, not the college, what am I saying? I wanted to say the high school. I did do some high school out there. I think I did a little bit. Was it half my freshman year or just a semester? Can't remember. I think more or less around that time. Half of all of my semester in Cali, and then I did the rest here in New York. But I'm originally from here. Anyways, long story. And so it's pretty cool to see the campus or whatever the case may be, because it's just so different compared to New York. I know they're kind of looking almost the same, the newer ones or whatever. But anyways, regressing here. So Veronica Mars, basically, as you guys know, her best friend was killed. Her father got run out of being sheriff, and there's a lot of mystery, intrigue about this person, that person, a lot goes on. And somehow throughout this whole thing, Veronica has to figure it out while still keeping her sanity throughout this whole thing. And yeah, she has her dad, who's a PI. He told her everything she knows, and she is as smart as a wit. And yeah, so I remember starting to watch season 1, and then it switched over to another channel, and then I couldn't find it. So now basically all 5 seasons there on Hulu. So that is kind of like my guilty pleasure watching, because I was watching the preview for the upcoming season. She's all grown up. She's kind of, I guess, taking over, or a partner of her dad. And now there's a new mystery to be solved in Neptune. So yeah. So I'm pretty excited about that. So since I didn't get a chance to watch the whole like stuff or whatever, just a couple of episodes here and there from each different season, I decided to completely watch season 1 and just go from there. And yeah, so Veronica Mars, woohoo! So those are my summer watching. I actually have not been watching anything else. Yeah, because honestly, guys, it's the summer. Nothing really. I don't know. Nothing really. It's been, on the radar as of yet. Like I said, the only thing that has been is Dead Files, The In-Between, and Hulu's Veronica Mars. So let's get into the anime portion of it. This one is, while I was looking through for new anime, this one is on Crunchyroll. You may want to check around and see whether or not if it's on Hulu or Funimation. Sometimes they kind of mix, not mix, but, cross-mingle animes. A certain scientific accelerator. So basically, this Esper, who was saving something called the Last Order, gets shot in the head, and he's resting in the hospital. It's cut short because of something that happens. Then something else happens about a young lady that comes in with a picture of the clone, I guess the Last Order of sorts. She's a clone of sorts. and it's only on 2 episodes. And I guess he has to become like a detective while trying to heal up. Yeah, so that's a lot going on with that one. And again, that's on Crunchyroll. The second one is on Funimation. Again, check your anime streaming services. This one is called Beam, BEM. So these inhuman creatures are basically trying to save humanity. In doing so, they hope that they can become human, but something happens and that plan is being disrupted. But they're still going about their business, and that one has 2 episodes as well. It's really good. Once again, I have to find a similarity through the intro to the battlefields and Copland and now Beam all kind of have that jazzy intro mantra thing going on, which is really cool. It's weird and funny at the same time, and cool, weird, funny, cool at the same time. Enjoyable. So I'm really enjoying it. Second episode was really eye-opening. It kind of centered around one particular character. Hopefully we'll get a backstory to more as time goes on. And yeah, so I'm super excited about this one. I honestly thought that there was not going to be any more new anime coming out. So when I found these, I was like, oh yeah, I have to add these to the show and talk about them and let you guys know what is going on. Alright guys, so I'm going to end it here and tell you thank you so very much for listening to me ramble, I guess. And let me know what shows have you been watching and what anime you have been enjoying. I talked about my other anime that my top picks for my summer anime, but now apparently I think in the last one I had 5, so now I have 6, 7 anime this summer. I think this is a record. Wow. So as always, hopefully I will be able to do a review about them, like my summer ending. And so thank you so very much for listening. If you guys have any comments or questions, please leave them on below. And excuse me about that. Comments or questions down below, or you can always email me your comments and questions. My email address is eileen@eileenloquarta.com. And please don't forget to subscribe if you have enjoyed this and would like to hear more from me. And if you liked it, please don't forget to hit that like button and let me know that you liked it. Alright guys, thank you so much for listening. Have a great weekend, and I will see you next Friday. Bye for now.